Night had fallen heavy over the valley, a night thick with rain, thunder rolling through the hills like distant drums. The storm had started hours earlier, pounding the farmlands and swelling the small river that wound through the village. What was once a shallow stream now tore through the earth like a beast unleashed. In the distance, a faint sound pierced the storm, high, trembling, desperate. It was the cry of a young foal, echoing through the darkness. Somewhere out there, a baby horse was fighting for its life. The villagers gathered at the edge of the flooded fields, flashlights trembling in their hands. The rain made it hard to see, but the cries grew clearer, guiding them like a beacon of fear. When one of the rescuers, Arjun, waded forward with his torch, the beam cut through the murky water, and there it was. A small foal, half submerged, trapped inside a deep, muddy trench carved by the flood. Its legs were tangled in roots, its body trembling with exhaustion. The water was rising, fast. Arjun shouted for help, his voice barely cutting through the rain. Within minutes, the local rescue team arrived. Men and women in raincoats, their headlights glowing like stars in the storm. They moved fast, setting ropes, digging poles into the ground for balance. One look at the foal's eyes told them everything. There was no time. The mud was treacherous. Each step forward sank their boots deeper. The trench was nearly 2 meters deep, filled with swirling brown water. Every few seconds, the foal cried out, its nostrils flaring as it fought to keep its head above the surface. They worked by flashlight and instinct. Arjun and his teammate Mira tied a thick rope around a nearby tree to anchor themselves. Another rescuer, Rafiq, slid carefully down the slope, gripping the rope to avoid being swept away. His flashlight beam flickered across the foal's face, terrified but still alive. "Easy, boy, easy," Rafiq whispered, his voice trembling as thunder cracked overhead. The foal's hooves kicked weakly, splashing mud across his arms. He reached out, his hand brushing the animal's wet mane. The water was ice cold. "Pull the rope!" he yelled, and the team braced. They looped another rope under the foal's belly, each motion careful not to hurt it. The rain kept falling harder, pounding their backs like stones. The trench walls began to collapse in clumps of mud. For a second, everyone froze. The foal slipped lower, water reaching its neck. Panic flared. "Hold it steady!" Arjun shouted. "We'll lift on 3! 1, 2, 3!" The rescuers heaved together, muscles straining, mud sucking at their boots. The rope tightened, groaned, then inched upward. The foal's front legs lifted free from the suctioning muck. Its eyes blinked wildly, nostrils flaring as it fought to keep its head above the surface. Another surge of water rushed in, nearly knocking Rafiq off balance. He gritted his teeth and held the rope tighter. "Don't let go!" Mira screamed, slipping in the mud, but refusing to release her grip. Bit by bit, the foal began to rise. It kicked weakly, helping itself as the rescuers pulled in rhythm. One heartbeat, one breath, one pull at a time. Lightning flashed across the field, illuminating the entire scene in ghostly white. Rescuers drenched, faces set with determination, mud flying, ropes cutting through rain. Then, with one final pull, the foal broke free. It collapsed onto the grass, chest heaving, legs trembling. Everyone fell silent. The only sound was the storm easing into soft drizzle, like nature itself was exhaling in relief. Mira rushed to the foal, placing her hands gently on its neck. "You're safe now," she whispered, tears mixing with rain. The foal blinked slowly, its breathing steadying. The team covered it with a blanket, shielding it from the cold night wind. They stayed there a long time, kneeling in the mud beside the small creature they had just saved. Around them, the rain softened to a mist, and the clouds slowly began to part, revealing faint silver moonlight breaking through. As dawn approached, the foal's mother, who had been neighing anxiously from the field's edge, finally trotted closer. The rescuers stepped aside, watching quietly as the mother nuzzled her baby, brushing its wet mane with her muzzle. The foal let out a soft, tired whinny, a sound of peace after chaos. In that quiet, muddy field, surrounded by the wreckage of the storm, the rescuers shared a look of exhaustion and gratitude. They knew what they'd done tonight wasn't just about saving an animal. It was about protecting hope, about standing against nature's fury to give life another chance. Ending narration. Calm, emotional. That night, when the rain finally stopped, the world seemed to pause, as if listening to the soft breathing of the foal resting beside its mother. In the darkness, beneath the sky washed clean by the storm, one truth shone brighter than any lightning. Every life, no matter how small, deserves to be fought for.